Alright, let's see if we can figure out how old this father and son are. 5 years from now, a father's age will be 3 times his son's age, and 5 years ago, he was 7 times as old as his son was. So I'm going to let F represent the father's age and S represent the son's age. And that's going to be their age right now. So 5 years from now, the father will be F plus 5 years old, and the son will be S plus 5 years old. And 5 years from now, the father's age will be 3 times the son's age. So the father's age in 5 years is going to be 3 times the son's age in 5 years. Alright, what's the other one? 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, father would be F minus 5, and son would be S minus 5. And 5 years ago, father was 7 times as old. So father 5 years ago equals 7 times the son's age 5 years ago. So now when I graph this, I am going to want to convert this into slope-intercept, because that is a fun way to graph. So I'm going to distribute 3 times S and 3 times 5. That'll give me F plus 5 equals 3S plus 15. And then I'll subtract 5 from both sides to get F by itself, and I get F equals 3S plus 10. Now I'll graph that one. My y-intercept is 10, so I'm starting here, and then my slope is 3. So let's see, when I go over 1, I go up 3, but that's not super helpful on this graph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little table here to find points that are nice for this graph. Like I said, if I put in a 1 for S, so when the son was 1 year old, I would get 3 times 1 plus 10, that'll be 11. Is 1, 11 a very helpful point for me to put on here? Not really, because I don't have a perfect idea of where that is. But if I was to put, I seem to be counting, here I'm counting by 5s, here I'm counting by 5s and 10s. So if I put a 5 for S, then I would be doing 3 times 5 plus 10, that's 15 plus 10, that's 25. Is 525 a good point? Over 5, up 25. Hey, right there, that's a nice little point to put in. So how about if I try 10? I'm going to do 3 times 10 plus 10. That's 30 plus 10 is 40. So then 10, 40. Over 10, up 40. There's a point on that line. And so I can draw a nice line going through them points right there. Now I'll run through that process for this line. 7 times S and 7 times negative 5. So I'm going to get F minus 5 equals 7S minus 35. To get F by itself, I'm going to add 5 to both sides. And I get F equals 7S minus 30. So my y-intercept is negative 30. My slope is 7. And I'm going to do a similar thing over here. I'm going to make a little chart. And I'm going to use my 5 and my 10. So what do I get when I plug in a 5? 7 times 5 minus 30. 7 times 5 is 35. 35 minus 30 is 5. So I got a point over 5, up 5. And when I plug in a 10, 7 times 10 minus 30 is 70 minus 30, which is 40. So over 10 up 40, hey, coincidence? That point is where these two lines intersect, right here at 1040. And so 10 is the S and 40 is the F. So that means that the sun, when these two intersect, the son is 10 years old and the father is 40 years old.